Hey there, everybody. Kendall here. Happy Wednesday. I can tell you, there are definitely some interesting things going around. Like attitude. Attitude is definitely going around. Tons and tons of attitude. I love moments like today because moments like today are some of the most educational moments of our lifetime. And just like I was talking about in my article yesterday in my musing, where I was talking about, like don't lose yourself in the goodbyes of other people, because we say goodbye to people all the time, and sometimes we get caught up on the goodbye and sometimes we don't get caught up on the goodbye, right? And a lot of the times what I see with people is that they really lose themselves in this heartache and this feeling of abandonment and this feeling of loss because they feel that there was a failed relationship. And that failed relationship, number one, I personally don't believe in failed relationships. I think that every relationship offers us a beautiful lesson, a beautiful experience, no matter how long or short that relationship might be. But I can tell you that some of the lessons of the recent few days here has really been coming to me around burning bridges. And it's amazing to me because when we're all guilty of going out there and burning bridges, right? Like we burn these bridges, and we do it especially in our relationships. We do this where we feel the need to blow our stuff up and start fresh. And we go, I just don't want to be part of that anymore. I'm going to just sever this relationship. I'm going to disconnect. And I have been on all sides of this, where I'm guilty party of doing this myself in the past, and I'll probably do it again in the future because hey, I'm human and I'm a work in progress like the rest of us, right? But recently I have noticed, especially anybody who knows my story, about a year ago I had a very big bridge burning experience with my partner of 7 years, where he just decided that our relationship was going to be over in about 90 minutes. The day started in love and connection and play, and us talking about going on this beautiful trip together, and family day. It was a Sunday, a family day, and 90 minutes after we got home, I found myself with cops in tow and my body busted up and, needing the care of a hospital. And it was just like, it just blew my mind, and it was just one of those like, wow, this is a massive bridge burning that just took place. And why would that happen? And then the next morning I woke up and he had decided that he was going to completely unfriend everyone that we had as joint friends over the 7 years, and on top of it, even unfriend my children from my previous relationship that he was stepfather to. So it's it is one of those that my son passing me a fruit snack. It is one of those moments that that's a massive bridge burning moment, and that's something that you don't recover from. We have these moments, and they're cold. I'm so sorry. Like, that is one tangy fruit snack. Had to, in that moment, like, here you go, Mom. Here's a fruit snack for you. Gotta love children. But in that moment of that bridge burning that took place a year ago, it's something that will never be recovered. A relationship can never go back to anywhere remotely close to what it was. We now co-parent. We do the best we can to be civil. We just don't discuss things. It is a very severed relationship outside of brief communications for children's sake. And, it is what it is, because I am a firm believer and practice the concept of there's your business, there's my business, and there's somebody else's business or God's business, okay? And that is, those businesses out there is those businesses out there. I have no control over what's going on inside of any other person on this planet. The only thing that I can be in control of is my own emotions, my own thoughts, and my own actions to those things. And that's a very proactive way of living life. And And often what happens though is that we tend to, when we get into burning bridge mode, what we do is we point the finger outward and we feel threatened, we feel scared, we feel jealous, we feel, a loss, we get triggered, we get into our pain body, into our ego, and we become very reactive and aggressive in nature. And then we do things that sometimes we regret that we did. Down the road stuff happens and we go, I really messed up there. I really, really messed up there. But there's no going back when you make massive bridge burning moments like that happen. And in the last couple of days, I've had some less volatile situations happen, but definitely the sign of bridges burning and relationships changing, evolving, moving into new connection. And that might mean the severing of the relationship, or that might mean, just giving some space, some time, and letting a new relationship emerge with these individuals. And I can tell you that what I also have seen in this process, that's, again, self-guilty and the noticing, is that in almost every time that I see these bridge burning happen and we retract our energy from somebody at this catastrophic event moment, like really, really make these accusations, take these actions that are severe and detrimental to the relationship. When we retract our love, we retract our connection in those moments, what you'll notice is that this normally happens at these critical times when the individual that is causing the action, the aggressive action of burning the bridge, what they are actually doing is they are coming up to this pivotal point of breakthrough. It is like they are getting ready to break through. And the ego is a very interesting thing, right? It tries to protect us through sabotaging us. It makes us believe that there's something to fear, that we have something to lose. And we get into this mode of, if I can't have it, or if it's going to go away anyway, at least I'm going to control how it happens, and I'm going to make it go my way. And when we do that, what we end up doing is we make a heck of a lot of assumptions in this time frame, because we typically get it wrong. There's actually nothing going on. We're actually breaking through. We're coming into deeper intimacy. We're coming into deeper connection. The relationship that we are trying to now burn the bridge on, we were actually going to expand and evolve in, and potentially connect at a deeper level in. And instead, the ego goes into fear mode and fears that it can't handle it, and that the person is not worthy, cannot support it, that they're going to be abandoned, lost in the relationship somehow. It's like it's too good to be true. There's too much connection here. And the fear of the intimacy causes the sabotage of burning the bridge. The fear of the growth causes the sabotage of burning the bridge. The fear, the worry, the concern, the falsities that get painted into one's head causes this match to be lit and the aggression to take place. And next thing you know, you have a bridge on fire, and the repair work is so massive that you've now set yourself so far back that it's not even funny. There's sometimes you cannot, like I said, by my sharing story of my relationship of 7 years, that's something that no matter how much I care for him, no matter how much I understand or can empathize or can see the reality of, there's no way in hell I would ever go back into that situation again, because the trust breach is so great that I'd be stupid to do it, right? Well, we do this in our friendships. We do this in our sisterhood. We do this with our children. I have witnessed parents do this to their children. I have witnessed children doing this with their parents over something like borrowing $1,000 or something, I mean, it's like, or even less. I mean, I have seen relationships completely explode and the bridges being burnt over little arguments. I grew up, my mother is from Germany. She's a World War II survivor of 5 concentration camps, and her little sister, they're a year apart. Now my mom and my aunt are now in their 80s. And my grandmother is deceased 15 years ago or so, maybe even 20. I guess it might be 20 now. But I remember as a little girl growing up that my mother would not call. My grandmother lived in Germany, and my aunt lived in New Jersey, and we lived in California. And I did not meet my aunt until I was 16. I met my grandmother when I was 5, and at that point my mother and my aunt and my grandmother had not been talking for almost 40 years because they got into an argument about something, who knows what. I don't even think they knew after that many years, but they got into an argument and they opted to retract their love from each other for 40 years. 40 years, the loss of that mother-daughter relationship, 40 years of a sister relationship gone. Talk about some bridge burning. Like, that fire was ripping for 40 years. And it took my grandmother getting really, really ill and falling down and breaking her hip to pull everybody back together, sort of, kind of. They spent the next 20 years touch and go, and then they had a couple good years, and then they separated again, they severed again. So, here's the thing. I share these intimacies with you because I see this so prevalent in our world. I see it with my coaching clients, with my couples clients, my individual clients in business. I see beautiful, entrepreneurs trying to compete and argue and do all this different stuff as though there is an attack on them and this fear of this loss. And so they build a network, and then they go and they blow their network up, and they do it because they're living in scarcity. They're living in fear. And they are suffocating themselves, and they suffocate themselves with the smoke of the fire that they're creating from the falsities, the illusions, the mistruths that they're painting in their own head. And no matter what, we can point the fingers out and we can blame all day long. But realize that when you point your fingers outward and you blame to other people, not only you can go with, okay, they're guilty of that, and you can say, well, how many fingers are pointing back at me? That whole old tale, right? But here's the truth in the matter. Forget that. Forget how much is actually pointing back at you. Realize that when you point the finger at somebody else and you put the blame on them, that you are turning over your personal power to that person. You are giving your power away in that moment, and you're going, I am washing my hands of the responsibility of my own life, of my own success, of my own well-being. I am washing my responsibility away, and I'm not taking responsibility for it anymore. So whatever happens, it's not my problem. It's not my responsibility. I'm going to sit over here in my pain body, and I'm going to just be a victim by my own choice in this moment. There's nothing proactive about that. There is nothing healed or strong or powerful about that. There is nothing beautiful about that. It is actually quite pathetic, because it is this idea that you're going to get something by becoming a victim. You get the attention of the victim. So you're not getting the attention that you want when you're standing in your power, or you haven't fully stepped into your power. So you're scared of that. You're scared of showing up. You're scared of the breakthrough. You're scared of all the beauty and the light and the blessing that you can offer this world, because I do believe that every single person on this planet has a beautiful message, and that this whole world can be changed by one person sharing their message, because the ripple effect that each one of us has is so immense. It is so immense. Think about it. When you share one statement, whether it is positive or negative, it is your choice what you are rippling out into this world. Okay? You make the decision. And when you share that one message out into this world, and it touches just 2 other people. Crap, if it just touches 1 other person, and then that person transfers it over and shares it to 2 other people, and then they share it to 2 other people, and 2 other people, and before you know it, or just the way you live, the example that you are, how you speak, how you share, how you show up in your life. If you have children, realize that ripple effect goes directly to them, and then from them it goes out to their friends, to their partners, to their children. All of this different stuff, okay? So realize that you do have a ripple, and when you choose to burn bridges and to point fingers and to become a victim in your life, that chances are when you have that rise up in you, that fear, that desire to blame, when you get that triggered, that is your ego, and that is your ego, yes, trying to save you because your ego is fearful that you don't have what it takes. But your soul knows that you have what it takes. Your soul knows that you are powerful as fuck. Your soul knows the greatness that's inside of you. And if you succumb to the casting of that match and letting yourself throw that match and burn the bridge down, what you'll probably discover is that you were right there, sitting at a breakthrough. Not a breakdown, not a loss, not an abandonment, not something horrible, but a breakthrough into the next level of your life, into your well-being, into your success. And what you did was you didn't just burn the bridge between you and whomever. You just set yourself back, Lord knows how many steps on your path. And now the repair work and the work that it's going to take, because right when you should have really put your head down, right when you really should have gotten in there and really made it happen and really stuck your feet in the ground and committed to you, committed to your message, committed to your truth, committed to your life, that was when you opted to back away. That was when you opted to throw the towel in and to become a victim. But there's no such thing as victims. There's only volunteers. You're volunteering to become that victim. You're passing your power off to somebody else. But that still, at the end of the day, doesn't take the responsibility off of you, because you're still responsible for every single thing that happens in your life, whether you like it or not. It is your choices, your emotions, your thinking, your actions that decide what happens in your life today and tomorrow. So, I leave you with this message because there has been much beautiful emotional upheaval in some dear friends' lives of mine and some clients' lives of mine either, where I have seen this happening. And the remembrance and the reminder, I guess you could say, that I am blessed with is to be cautious as to where I might be guilty of doing this, to check myself. And I encourage you today to look at where you're being triggered and where you're wanting to retract your love, retract your connection, retract your soul, who you are, and dim your light out of the fear of not really truly ever having, out of the fear of losing, and and actually believing that if you burn it, if you blow it up, well, at least it's going down your way, and nobody else is going to tell you that you weren't worthy, tell you that you weren't wanted. So before they do that, you are going to burn it down. Ask yourself, is that true? Is that true? Am I really on the cusp of losing something here? Am I really on the cusp of having stuff happen that I don't want, that's not in my best and highest good? Or am I allowing my ego to bring so much fear, so much doubt, so much triggering emotion into my life right now? And that has me causing this negative effect over here, and retracting my love and not having the breakthrough that I am so deserving of in my life. Yeah. So, if you're watching this and you know who you are, I love you. And if you're not watching it, well, I love that person anyway. And I love all the people that are wrapped up in that tale. Yeah. On a note of what is going on around here, let me see. I just launched my Tantric Holistic Practitioner certification. Went out last night. It launched. I am so excited about this, guys. So very excited, because it really is. I want to bring what true Tantra is to North America and to the world. We have been so caught up on neo-tantra and just the sexuality piece of tantra, and that really truly only makes up about 5 or 6% of what tantra is, and it doesn't talk about everything else. So this Tantric Practitioner Holistic course certification is really going to enable you, if you choose to participate. Granted, it is a commitment because this really is probably going out, you know, to everybody locally to me in the Dallas-Fort Worth area on this, because this is going to be a local workshop. So unless you can take off some time and make it to the workshops here, or pipe yourself in, which I'm totally open to doing too, know that this is a very hands-on certification. It is intensive. It is 8 months of training, and we will be ending our certification in Costa Rica in a beautiful, beautiful villa overlooking the ocean with the jungle all around us. We are going to deep dive into the personal healing work. We're going to deep dive into what it means to be a tantric coach, teacher, facilitator. I'm going to be sharing with you my 28 years of tantric education and passing off as much as I possibly can to the 12 participants of the certification program. So if this is of interest in you, know that you will find a link in the comments section to this. And if you have any questions, I am here to address those for you and help you get registered and help you get on the right path, whatever that path might be for you. And if this is not of interest for you, if you know of somebody who might want to add a tantric foundation to their holistic practice, or just want to learn more, or to just enrich and embetter themselves to do the deep healing work that Tantra can offer, this is an opportunity for them to do that too. It is definitely a professional certification, but I can tell you that even without the professional certification, this is one killer healing certification that really will get in there and really lift up all that muck and help you get it cleaned out so that you can tap into your authentic, beautiful you and claim your life once and for all. So if you have any questions, feel free to message me and I will connect you to all the details and answer all the questions that I possibly can. Other than that, I will make other announcements later in the day. I love you guys, and as always, stop existing, start living. You can follow me at www.kendalwilliams.com. Bye everybody. Catch you tomorrow for another Conscious Coffee.